Welcome back to BookTalks podcast. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
And this week we read Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. So we have emailed Holly Jackson's publisher for the past, I guess, how many years we've been doing this podcast? 5 years?
Yeah, a long time.
Begging for a copy of this book. We've covered, I feel like, every single book she's ever written on the podcast. We love her.
Yes.
So when we got
her.
when we got ARCs, and they finally sent us ARCs, we were ecstatic. I am still ecstatic. I feel like we've made it, even though we have not. We have 38 followers on YouTube.
Okay, on YouTube. We have a few more on Instagram, and we have lots of listeners. Let's not underhype ourselves, but no, we have not made it yet.
I get so excited for every little subscriber on YouTube. When we got 2 last week, I was just so excited.
It is exciting. Honestly, it is so hard to grow on YouTube because, with Instagram and TikTok, your videos can get pushed to the For You page or the recommended For You page or whatever. But on YouTube, I don't feel like our videos get pushed anywhere per se. So it really is random when someone subscribes and you're like, oh my gosh.
Videos have grown in views. We have about 200 views on some videos, which is kind of crazy. We're 38 subscribers.
I mean, I've only watched them 198 times. So at least 2 people are watching.
So we beg you to subscribe. Please subscribe to us. We have a lot of content to post this fall. We have 4 books that we were sent to record on still. So besides this one, so make sure to subscribe. But we'll get into the book. I have to say, starting this book, I wasn't as excited as the rest because I knew there wasn't going to be a happy ending.
Did I spoil that for you?
No, the synopsis says, she's gonna die and she's solving her own murder, which is a really cool concept. I don't know how Holly thinks of that, because that's I would never think of a concept like that. But you just know that, you're gonna fall in love with a character and she's gonna die at the end. So you, don't, want to. I don't know. I struggled getting into it because I'm like, ugh, I don't want her to die. I don't want this accident to happen.
So I must be a complete idiot and lack critical thinking skills because my dumb self went into this Holly Jackson's gonna find a way to save her. It's all a setup. There's gonna be a happily ever after. I literally at one point said to my mom, "It's Holly Jackson. It's not like she's gonna die at the end. It's gonna be fine. I'm not worried." An hour later, I went into my mom and I was like, "Don't you dare read this book. I hate this book. I never want to talk about this again." Full-fledged believed things were going to come around. So the fact that you knew from the start, I just must be really dumb.
I had a very small sliver of hope that maybe she'd make me happy and save Jet. I just had a feeling she wasn't, and the more and more I read, I was like, no, she's just gonna let Jet go. She's just gonna let her die. And I was so sad.
Did we give a spoiler warning?
No.
So guys, pretend you didn't hear any of that.
We're gonna have to just clip something in the beginning being so let's just do our spoiler warning now and we'll put it in the front of the episode.
Cool.
So yeah, big spoiler warning. We will be diving into everything about this book and probably all of Holly Jackson's books. Actually, we won't touch the ending of those books, but we'll try and keep those spoiler free. But for this book, we'll be talking about everything possible. So please read and then come back. But also, thank you for Bentman. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Bantam? Bontum? It's probably English, so you probably have to say it with an accent. Bontum. Thank you, Bontum.
Thank you, Penguin Random House, for sending us this copy. It is a one from Penguin Random House. Yeah, I was discouraged. Also, I did a part audio. I don't know, did you fully just read the whole thing?
No, I did audio and physically read it with the audio reading it for me. But audio in the ears, physically reading along. But that way I could read it a lot faster because audio is at 2.0, but I'm also reading it. as we go. So I've never done that before, but I felt like I needed to physically read it because it was a thriller and like I wanted to pick up on the clues, but I also needed to get through it kind of quickly because I thought we were recording weeks ago and then life derailed.
Whoops. So I listened to it and I did not read it at the same time, but then I would go back and pick up where I left off and read the
Mhm.
book. So I did it when I was running a lot of the time because marathon training, I spent like all my whole weekend just running. So I need something to listen to. So I'm listening to a lot of books lately. But so my first take on the audio part is Billy sounds like a little bitch.
Okay. So here's the thing. I spent the entire book thinking this was YA, which was in part why I thought there'd be a happily ever after. But part of why I thought it was YA is because I agree. Billy sounded like a little bitch. And also, Jet sounds like she's in high school. She's like 27. She's a full-fledged adult, but the way she and Billy talk, like, honestly, the way the whole town talks, it's not just them. Like, everyone just kinda sounded like they were in high school, and, like, it wasn't elevated to an adult level, even though this apparently, I have since learned, is an adult book. So so I will say, I love Holly Jackson, so I'm not, like, trying to dog her just right off the bat, but I don't think this book really qualifies as adult, or at least she didn't elevate the characters to an adult level in my humble non-published opinion.
No, I agree, especially reading. So I feel like all her other books are YA. We expect YA. She does a
Yeah.
really good job of it. Besides Five Survived, which was the one, Rachel
The
Price.
the reappearance or the disappearance of Rachel Price or something like that.
That one was so good. Like, I
Oh,
really like that
so
one.
good. It
And
honestly might be my favorite, quite honestly. It was really good.
no, I couldn't put that one was like I couldn't put down. I actually went to her event. I listened to her speak, and Holly was like the funniest person on top of that. So I do feel like she does a really good job at writing really funny, like, main characters with their inner monologue is just so funny. And I thought it was really cool that she was writing of Jet, like, kind of like her brain was going, and
Mhm.
it was really interesting to read. I was trying to explain it to my nurse friend, and she's like, "This isn't real. You couldn't do this." And I'm like, "Let me live in my fantasy world. Like, you're not a book
Yeah.
person. You don't get it."
You don't get it. Like, we abandon logic when we jump into books, so just let us have
Speaking of abandoning logic, have you been watching
no.
Summer I Turned Pretty?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, so the fact that she just like magically flies to Paris with no visa, like
No visa.
nothing.
No
It
job,
just,
doesn't speak the language.
but I'm in. I'm hooked.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. But the memes are hysterical. Like, people, I saw one where they had Belly's face photoshopped into onto the Grim Reaper, like coming for the boy. So Jeremiah was X'd off, Conrad was X'd off, Cam Cameron from season one X'd off, then Benny Benito's X'd off, and then it says Benny's brother. Like, she finds out he has a brother, so she's gonna go for his brother next. I like dead. Love it. It's hysterical.
Did you see the news?
The news?
We're getting a
What
movie.
is it revealed?
Yes, she put it on
Okay,
Instagram.
okay, so this morning at 8 a.m. I logged on and, because I haven't watched the finale yet. I logged on to Facebook and I'm on all the spoiler pages, so they're like, "Oh, Bonrod in-game, woohoo, happily ever after." But then all these people were like, "Did anyone notice Jenny Han's message at the end credits and how she's like, 'Maybe I'll see you again in Cousins, maybe someday.'" And then it was like they had showed pictures of Christmas and people were like, "What does that mean, Jenny?" And so people were speculating, is it going to be a secret episode? Someone was like, is it going to be a movie? So you saying that is like, I had no idea.
She posted
Crazy.
it as like a group like a combined shared post with Amazon Prime, the Summer I Turned Pretty Instagram, and Jenny Han saying Summer I Turned Pretty movie.
Oh, thank goodness. What family is Belly gonna ruin this time?
It'd be really
Just
funny
kidding.
if she broke up with Conrad and just did it all over again.
We would eat that up. I'm I'm in full support. Whatever they wanna do, I will watch it.
So for so going back to this book, yeah, like logic, I don't know what actually happens if you're dying and your brain is, has like it's bleeding, whatever. But I feel like she did a good job articulating that, but also made her very functioning and like we can follow the story still. I love when she kept on forgetting words and they were like easy
Yeah.
words and she was getting
Yeah.
so mad at herself in her inner monologue.
Yeah. No, so the thing is, I like, first of all, story idea, 10 out of 10. So unique. Like, love this totally random idea. I've never heard of something like this before. So 10 out of 10 there. But yeah, as it progresses and she starts forgetting the words, you start to feel like the gravity and the seriousness of this. Because like I said, I really believed there was gonna be a happily ever after. But I guess I guess she gave us clues that there wasn't. I just chose to constantly ignore them as I read, and it's like, "Oh, she's forgetting words, whatever. Yes, the aneurysm's gonna blow, whatever, but, like, somehow, something's gonna happen." Anyway, it was brilliant. I really liked it. I didn't like that they sounded like they were in high school, but if this had been a YA book with a happily ever after, 10 out of 10.
I think she had to make them older because at 18 or 17, like I don't think you can comprehend the gravity of like, oh, I'm gonna die. And I don't even know at 27, I'm like what I would do, honestly. I think I would get the surgery and like hope for the best.
I was gonna ask you that actually. So if you were in that position and the doctor said, "Okay, we can do the surgery, but you're probably not gonna make it, or you have a week and then you're definitely gonna die." Like, what do you do?
I think I'd just try for the surgery because I wouldn't want to be around my family or everyone else, and they're like all sad because I'm gonna die. Also, her family was like weirdly not sad though.
Her mom was weird. Her mom was reacted everyone reacted weird to it, like not normal.
If my family thought I was gonna die in a week, oh my god, they'd be annoying. Like they would just cry all the time,
Yeah,
and they would just like be all over me. And like her family was like giving her a hard time. Like they were being very difficult to her.
yeah.
So it was weird. It was a weird dynamic in the family and the town.
Yeah. No, it was weird. I would probably have elected to do the surgery just because I feel like it could have been like a last ditch effort, like give them some hope, like, hey guys, maybe this will work. Let's give it a shot. And that way, when I die on the operating table. I'm not aware that it's happening. I've had a chance to say goodbye and then I'm dead. Um, Plus, then I wouldn't have had to deal with my family. Like you said, my family, I don't know what my family would do, but I mean, they would not have made a big deal about dinner and like been like, "You need to be home for dinner." First of all, I don't think I would have left the house. I would have just wanted to be around my family. But yeah, their dynamic wasn't really something I related to. But, I think it just goes to show, like, different family dynamics, and maybe that's why Jet was the way she was, a little more rebellious and wanting to solve her own murder as opposed to just, like, accepting it.
So when the murder first happened, who did you think killed her?
Okay, here's the thing. I've been reading I read a lot of thrillers, and I had just finished a thriller by Karen Slaughter, her newest book. Oh my gosh, did I just blank on the title? It's her new book in the North Falls series. Is it I guess it is We Are All Guilty Here. For some reason, I was thinking that was a Will Trent one. Anyway, I had just finished this new book by Karen Slaughter. And in this book, I'm not going to give spoilers here. I don't think I did last time, but I'm not going to give spoilers here. In this book, one of the bad guys was someone who was the nice guy. He was always around to help. He was always there. You could count on him. You could trust him. And so at the end, when it was like, switch, bam, he's the pedophile. It was like, whoa. So when this book started, kind of immediately, I suspected Jack, the police officer, Billy's dad, because I was like, he's too nice. The fact that Jet is like, I can trust Jack and only Jack. I can go to Jack for, any question. I keep saying his name's Jack as if that's real. I don't know if that's really his name or not. But Billy's dad, pretty sure it was Jack.
Yeah, it's Jack Feeney. You're
Okay.
correct.
Jack Feeney's. I kind of I feel like almost had my experience ruined having just come off of the Karen Slaughter book because I was like, I immediately suspected him. I didn't obviously put everything together that, he was having an affair with her mom or all that stuff, but I just felt like it was too much of Jack's a nice guy and I can trust Jack. And so I kind of was like, I think he's involved. I never like make a guess, like, I think he did it with an axe in the living room. Like I'm never that specific, but it's just kind of this gut feeling, like, I think he's somehow.
I thought it was Luke for like the longest time. I was like convinced.
Luke,
In your
w- Luke
the
and
brother.
his wife, Luke and his wife need to go to jail.
Yeah. But Sophia, I literally wrote down, I'm like, she's the worst character that like ever was. She was literally awful.
She's literally poisoning the dad. And Holly Jackson just did nothing to wrap that up. So like what? What is gonna happen to that poor father?
Totally forgot about that. That was wild.
So wild. I got to the end and I'm like flipping the page because I'm like, do we at least get a happily ever with the dad, or are we just to assume he's gonna die too?
Wait, but so Jet told her brother though, right?
Maybe she might have mentioned it. So maybe the brother's like, hey, stop poisoning my dad. That'd be pretty cool. No, because they're both kind of like not great people.
Oh my god, they're awful. He's like conning people out of money to try and save the company. This guy, what's his name? Henry is like suffering so bad. He's like gonna
Yeah.
go, isn't he gonna go blind or something?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and he has no shame. He's not giving him money or anything. And then Sophia's poisoning the dad, and this little baby's like stuck with these two villain parents, just chilling.
Just chilling. Yeah. It's wild to me that the book just ends and there's like no consequences for them.
Well, and
Just
also, I mean, we end with Luke shooting his real father, which is like not the justice I wanted. I wanted him to
mm-mm.
be locked up for both murders.
Yeah, and also it's like, well, now Luke's probably gonna go to jail. Well, kind of not. I mean, because I don't think it was Luke's fault that Emily drowned, right? That's kind of the takeaway. It's not like he held her, or did he hold her under? Or what? I can't remember now how it went down, actually.
Reading that, actually, I read it a couple times because you kind of get two different versions. I feel like you get like
Yeah,
the twisted version, and I don't know actually. I feel like,
where the truth is.
yeah,
Yeah. All we know for sure,
maybe
though,
I'm
is
dumb.
no, I have zero critical thinking skills. It's fine. That's why we have a book podcast, obviously.
Someone
People
please help
obviously,
us.
yeah, people obviously listen for us to just state the obvious and not dig deep at all.
Usually I dig deep. Let me I'm gonna do ChatGPT and see what they
Yeah.
say.
Hey, chat, what happened in this book? Can you remind us?
Which is so crazy that you can do this. Like, I remember when we were in high school and we wanted to like remember a chapter or like, I don't know, summarize it or not read the book for school and like read the Spark Notes. And you had to read the
Spark
Spark
notes.
Notes to understand it. And it was like it was not like an easy, like, it pretty much was like just summarized it a little bit shorter, but like you still had to read it a
Yeah.
good bit.
I had to use Spark Notes all the time for anything that was like written in Old English because I was like, Romeo and Juliet, I don't get what's going on, or like Hamlet or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, Spark Notes, explain it to me. And now they can just be like, hey, chat, summarize this like I'm two, and chat will do it. It's fantastic.
It's creepy.
It is creepy. But I try to be really nice to chat just in case he takes over the world someday.
Okay, I wrote in the book, not quite dead yet, who killed Emily Feeney. and it was Jack Feeney. If you want, I can walk you through how the book leads to this. Yes,
Let's
please.
do that.
Okay, well, now we're gonna do it. I wanna read in the pod, but it really breaks it down, actually. It's quite creepy, like, do they just digest every book ever written now?
I don't know. I don't how does it know?
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
you know what? Ask it what's in the Epstein files.
I've been in such my little bubble lately with, like, work and running
Yeah.
that I have no idea any of the news outside this, like, outside.
Ugh. The news, I can't even, like, yeah, I don't even wanna think about it, don't wanna talk about it. The world is a bad place, and the only thing we could do is escape into books because because the real world is bad.
So, I got into a really bad habit. I've been playing Sims 4, like, a lot.
Nice. Nice.
So, I actually love it. There's so many book people on it because you can go in the gallery and they have, like, all these, like, pre-made houses or characters. So, today I was, like, looking in the gallery and I, like, typed in ACOTAR and there's, like, 20 different types of ACOTAR people making ACOTAR characters. They make the houses, like, the castles. I was like, "These are the book people." So when I'm not working or running, I have been playing Sims, which I need to get back to reading and not playing Sims, but it's, like, addicting. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen on our YouTube channel, like, the recommended videos, like, you'll see some Sims videos.
No, I haven't. I have been head down working my butt off. But now that our busy season's over, I'm ready to write down some content ideas and like film some videos, get back into reading a little bit, maybe work on my book that I want to publish, you know, before I die someday. I actually came up with a new random idea last night, and I was like, "Wait, do I wanna write this now?" I'm like, "That's the problem with me. I can't just stick to one thing." And I don't even have ADHD. I just can't, commit. I have commitment issues. That's fair to say.
You should just start a book, and then if you, like, drop it and pick up a new one, just stop deleting it. You always delete all your words, like, stop deleting them.
There's a copy saved somewhere. Like, nothing's lost forever, but yeah, once I, like, hit delete, it's like, I'm done with it. It's gone. Get out of here. You were not what I wanted, which is how I treat men as well.
Back to men. Did you ever think Billy killed her?
No, no,
You
no,
never thought it?
no, not once. Here's the thing. They gave me such Pip and Ravi vibes, like just the best friend dynamic duo. We're solving a murder, like feeding off each other, bouncing ideas. This is why I was heartbroken at the end. For the people who don't follow me on Goodreads, I finished this book, and because I'm an emotional Cancer person, I just went and one-starred it and was like, "I will never read a Holly Jackson book again," because literally, they were giving me Pip and Ravi vibes. I was in love with her and Billy. There was not a doubt in my mind that he was loyal to her and loved her with every bone in his body. He was the PETA to her Katniss, and I will never recover from that ending. Never. I can't.
See, I don't think she will ever I don't think if she lived, she would never love him the way he deserves to be loved.
Mm. Oh, wow. That's deep. That's something.
Because he
Because
adored
she
her.
was a bitch. No, sorry. I'm, like, hyped
He
up on coffee.
he adored her, like, she walked on water, and she treated him like an afterthought
Oh my
all the
gosh.
time.
He he pined over her for years, almost to the point of being creepy, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I learned kind of how in love with her, for how long he was in love with her, I was like, "Oh, Billy, you're kinda giving me the ick, back off a little." Also writing her a song, I was like, "Ooh, Billy, I don't know about that, I don't like that." But I did like their duo. But you are not wrong in the sense that you're right, like, he would have worshipped her, and I don't know, I mean, even by the end, she couldn't really be like, "I love you." It was like, did you see the end of her letter? She's like, "I love you, I think I do." It's like, "Really?" Really? You think can you just commit to loving him?
I think her dying was the best thing to happen because I don't think he'd ever would have let go, and now he
Mm,
had to let go.
yeah, forced to let go. That's fair. I don't know if you read that, you sent me some potential podcast questions to discuss, and one of them was, "Should Holly Jackson do a spinoff and write more about Jet?" And I was like, "Jet's dead." So, I'm thinking no, but okay.
Preface, I was just curious, so I threw in on ChatGPT like, "Oh, what are some like things we just should discuss?" Which we have not followed at all. We are too chaotic to follow any script, to be honest. We could
Fair.
never. We used to do that when we first podcast. We would have that. We would have like a schedule or like a timeline we want to discuss, and we never stayed on track.
Never. I think about us, like, creating a docket all the time, like, should we try and be more organized? We couldn't do it. There's no way.
I think it takes away from the banter we have or the organic flow of the podcast, and this is
That's
just
true.
who we are.
And I think our
BookTalks
38
podcast.
followers would agree, for sure.
I hope they do. Please subscribe to make it 40. I feel like 40 sounds nicer.
Oh, it does. Can you imagine if we got to 50? We would be, like, hot stuff.
I would love to set a goal of like 100 followers by the end of the year, but we are already in September.
We
But we could
are.
try. We have a lot of content to post still. So let's make a goal 100 subscribers by end of December. Yeah. So make sure you subscribe because we have a lot of content coming. But going back to the book,
We're there.
the reason I thought it was Luke was the construction site. Or I thought it was Sophia because like they both knew they were laying concrete. And that was
Mhm.
like how they know. I still actually don't remember how did Jack know that they were laying concrete.
Should we ask Chat? But he either knew or he just got lucky, but he probably knew somehow. But I don't remember how.
Well, I think they were just really close, Jack and
That's true.
Luke. I think he would ask him for advice and not go to his own father. Or he would not go to
You're
his
right. You're right because he's his biological son, father, and so but Luke didn't know that, but Jack knew it. So Jack like stayed really close with it, like too close with him probably. You're right. I've forgotten so much. I'm so stupid.
I don't know, it's all coming back to me, but like I think Luke was so intimidated by his like I'm gonna say like his real dad and his biological dad. Like his real dad is Scott, his biological dad is Jack. But his like real dad who he grew up with, I feel like he was like wanted to like he looked up to him so much that he was scared to go with him for any problems, which just dug himself a bigger hole. Like the
I know.
fraud, which probably was Jack's idea was the fraud, like all these crazy things. And then we have that whole twist of Andrew Smith and like his daughter in the mix.
Yeah.
That was Emily's best friend who killed herself. So there's a lot of twists and turns. I did not know who the killer was. Like the whole time I feel like my guess kept on changing. I knew that
Okay.
they were trying to point us at like Andrew Smith. They really wanted us to think that. I knew they wanted us to think it was Sophia because I feel like that is an easy setup. She was like sneaking into the house, sneaking out of the house, like all this stuff. And they probably wanted us to think it was Luke too. Like I feel like
Yeah.
being a thriller writer is so interesting. You're like, let me just mess with my author, like let me just mess with my readers this whole time.
Yeah. No, so here's the thing. I was pretty sure it was Jack. Just like I said, because I'd come off the Karen Slaughter book, all that stuff. And then the moment I knew without a shadow of a doubt it was Jack was when they revealed that Jack's wife had written down he was wet before. Because the whole point of that was to make you fully focus in on Luke, but because I had already suspected Jack and believed it was him, that to me just confirmed. I was like, "She's not talking about Luke." Because I read a lot of thrillers, so, like, I've gotten I've gotten to the point where I don't always know, obviously, who it is or what the author wants or whatever, but I can usually tell when the author is trying to throw me off because they've set something up to clearly point to someone. Like, right, we're talking about Luke, we're looking at Luke, and then they write, he was wet before. So it's like, clearly we're talking about Luke, except because I've read so many of these, I'm like, that to me right there is a red flag that it's not Luke. I know she's trying to throw us off, which means the only other person it could be at that point was Jack, and I'd already suspected Jack. So again, like I have a little bit of an advantage because I read so many of these, and I had literally just come off one kind of a similar nature where it was someone close. It was actually a police officer, you know, wink, wink. So like again, very, very similar. So I feel like I had an advantage there. But I will say, I agree. I think it would be fun to be a thriller writer because like you know who it is, which means everything you write can just be how do I trick them? How do I throw them off? Blah 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 blah. And you can't do anything that would disrupt the integrity of who it really is, but you can definitely lead people in directions, and that would be fun.
Like, Chat was going through so many rabbit holes of, like, not really answers. Like, the whole, like, camera with Sophia, like, that, like, obviously wasn't gonna be Sophia because it was, like, not even towards the end of the book, but you're
Mhm.
like, "What did Sophia do?" And you're, like, reading down this rabbit hole. And the same with the concrete and, like, all this stuff, so, no, it would be so much fun to be a thriller writer. I just don't think I could do it. Like, I don't think I'm clever enough to do to do that. I feel like my brain works in a very much like when I write, I have to write in a like start to finish. Like I can't hop around.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I think it's definitely like complicated, and you have to know exactly where it's going to end up in order to throw everything off because I don't know, like, they talk about that whole, are you a pantser or a planner all the time, like, I don't know if you've heard that, but in the writing community, someone who plans, they plan out their book and then they follow that outline. Someone who's a pantser, just, like, by the seat of their pants, just sits down and writes a freaking book. Candy Steiner says she's a pantser. So and I hear a lot in the romance community about pantsers, just like being able to sit down and write a romance book. I don't feel like I hear that term as much in the thriller community. I think you have to be a planner, because it can get so complicated. And like, I would love to write a thriller book, but there's a part of me that is worried I am not smart enough to figure out how to do it. And that scares me because I have a master's.
No, I'm definitely a pantser. I feel like I want the characters to lead me into the story, like
Yeah.
not I
Like,
can't
let's
I
see
can't
where it
lead them.
goes. Yeah. Yeah, like, don't put me in charge. Don't put me in charge of these characters' lives. That I we will go head first off a cliff if I'm in charge. Like, no good.
Uh, but yeah, overall, I had a hard time starting this book because it was like I just knew it was gonna be sad, so I immediately had to follow up with a romance, which I read our next book, The Love Haters, which I
Mhm.
loved. I don't know if you started it yet.
Started it, but I took a bit of a hiatus in front of our work deadline, so I need to get back into it.
You are going to like love this book. Like you're
I'm
gonna
so
cry
excited.
at the end,
Oh,
and
no.
it's gonna be great. I've been in a very big Catherine Center kick lately, but I needed something happy after this book because it was just upsetting from start to finish. Like the first chapter was like she was like attacked the first chapter. So it starts off on a negative note and it kind of just stays like you just feel bad for Jet the entire way. Like especially like leading up to that point, like it didn't really sound like Jet had a great life. She sounded like she was
Mm-mm.
like in Emily's shadows her entire life. Her mom was extremely hard on her. Like the only person who was like there for her was her dad,
Yeah,
which poor guy too.
yeah.
He's married to that wacko, and his daughter-in-law has been poisoning him for months.
And the son he thought was his son is technically not his biological son. And now he's lost his other daughter.
Yeah, both daughters. So he has no kids really anymore.
Very sad.
So yeah, it was
Yeah,
overall a
so
sad book. Sorry,
it
cut you
it
off.
it w no, you're good, you're good. It was a sad book. Um, I was gonna ask you, like, what you would rate it now that it's been some time, like, how did you enjoy it? What would you rate it? And maybe, like, compared to her other books too.
So I do rank this above 5 Survive.
Agreed.
I don't
We did not like 5 Survive. It was a little traumatic being a, like, active shooter situation.
it was like I remember texting you being like, "I this book is so scary, like, I don't like it."
Yeah,
And you're like, "Oh, I can't wait." And I'm like, "No, like, it's not that
yeah.
kinda scary." Like, it's like a
Yeah,
an anxiety-induced fear. It was
exactly.
terrifying. No, I didn't like the book, and I wasn't that excited for Rachel Price after the fact, but then I read Rachel Price, and I went to her lecture, and Holly was so funny. I'm like, "Okay, this book is gonna be good," and it was so good.
Mhm.
Like,
So good.
the whole thing up to it. So I think that's my number 1. I honestly think the first book in the As Good as Dead. The other 2 books in not As Good as Dead, I don't know why I just said that. I don't even know what book that is. Oh, no, that's a book, right?
It's Uh-huh. Yeah, it's one of the books in the series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
I see, I think A Good Girl's Guide to Murder was, like, number 2, but, like, I don't remember the, like, 2nd and 3rd book. Like, they all kinda merge into one t for me.
Yeah, agreed. Um, yeah. So what do you rate this though? Come on, be
I
honest, give it a rating.
give it, like, a
We do wanna
3.5.
3.5, okay.
I really did I was intrigued, but it was just, like, I went into a book knowing it was gonna be sad, and I know it's, like I read a book based on feels, and it didn't make me happy.
Mm-mm. So that's the thing. It's like I love Holly Jackson, even though my Goodreads review says I will never read Holly Jackson again. That's probably a lie. I will probably read her again. Um, I'm just very emotional. I'm sorry. But and I will change my review, Holly Jackson. This doesn't deserve 1 star. I'm sorry. I will change it. But I will say I probably only give this like and this is harsh, like somewhere between a 2.5 and a 3, only because and here's why I say this, only because it was marketed as adult, but it reads as young adult. So that's kind of like a big deal to me. 2, I did not like the ending. And in my opinion, I think Holly Jackson wrote this ending to try and prove she was writing adult. And you don't have to prove something to your readers, and you don't need to prove something to anyone. If that really is the ending she wanted, okay. But like to me, it felt like that didn't feel like Holly Jackson to me. I expected her to somehow find a way to save Jet and give us some kind of happily ever after. So to me, it felt forced, and I didn't like that. I say if this was a young adult book with a happily ever after, I would give it honestly a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed the book. But because it was adult and because the ending didn't sit right with me, I'm like, it's not an adult thriller to me. So it's more like a 3, unfortunately. But I still love Holly Jackson. I'm still very grateful we got this book, and I will still read Holly Jackson despite what my Goodreads review says if you're looking at it before I go back and change it.
And I do recommend reading it, like, it's a very interesting concept.
Very
Well,
interesting.
I think if you've gotten this far, you've probably read it already.
Hope so. But, I don't know who our 38 subscribers are.
See, so I don't know if I'd recommend this book off the bat, but I recommend Rachel Price's book first. And then if they wanted to read the next one, I'd be like, yeah, it's a really cool concept, go for it. And that's where I stand on the recommendation of this book. But overall, I'm just so happy they sent it to us. Like, I am so excited.
It's a beautiful book too. I actually really like the cover, and the only problem is I own all her other books in hardback, and this is paperback, so I'm like, "Ooh, do I have to" I probably won't go rebuy it though, just because I need to start downsizing, not getting more.
So, next book we're going to read is The Love Haters by Catherine Center. Another favorite author, me and Marissa. We've also been fortunate enough to get a copy of that book as well. So, we were really excited to discuss that book. For this one, for Love Haters, I kept notes throughout the whole thing on my phone
Nice.
of my thoughts so I wouldn't forget. So, I have them all
Perfect.
here.
Perfect.
So,
No,
very excited about
that's
that.
great. And literally, like you said, it feels like we made it because we got books from 2 of our favorite authors. But you know what else would make us feel like we made it? is if we could reach 100 subscribers before the end of the year. Woo! I really am. I'm like hyped up on caffeine. I'm so sorry.
Okay. On that note, we'll say goodbye. Thanks for listening. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
Have a good night.